I have an appointment tomorrow to have my gooch waxed.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Controller. I'm Gladys, and joining me once again is Cryptic Panther.
Hey everybody.
Uberyoutuber.
Hello everybody.
And we're actually going to be down a man for the time being, as Fatti is a new daddy. Woohoo!
Yay!
Hey, congrats.
Yeah, he's taking some family time, so he'll be away from us for a little bit, and not sure exactly when he's going to be back, but he's going to take as much time as he needs to welcome his new baby boy. So congrats to him, of course. But here with the rest of the three of us, we are going to continue on our merry way with gaming news and updates and a brand new game of the week. And I don't even know what to say about this game of the week. All I can say is Fatti.
I have things to say.
Fatti is going to be really angry that he missed this one for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so find out what the game of the week is at the end of the podcast. If you can wait, if you can hold yourselves and be patient, don't skip ahead. But God, what a fucking experience that was. Anyways, all right, so we get on to the gaming news first. Panther, talk to us about a comparison that I don't think needs to be made.
Yeah, this is it's an article by Checkmate Gaming. I'm not familiar with the website. I know a lot of our articles come from sites that we're a lot familiar with, IGN, PC Gamer, and all that stuff. But I come across this article actually just earlier today, and it says, "Will Black Ops 4 outsell Red Dead Redemption 4?" Red Dead Redemption 4? What? Why is it Red Dead Redemption 4? Okay, so this is really great reporting because the headline is wrong. Wow. Okay. I guess they got excited when it was Black Ops 4, so they just figured it was Red Dead Redemption 4. Jeez, it even fucking caught me off guard. Amazing. I can't believe I read that. But in the article, it actually calls it. Yeah, it actually mentions it actually in the article. So 2018 is going to be a great year for both developers and gamers because big games like Black Ops 4, Battlefield 5, and Red Dead Redemption 2 are inching even closer to their launch windows. Given the popular reception of Red Dead Redemption, the original, we already know that the second iteration of the series will also manage to sell insanely well, outselling most competitors. But what do they mean by competitors? So, like, that's just my question, and I know it's yours as well, Gladys, from the conversation leading up to this article is how are they comparable? But anyways, it says because really Red Dead doesn't have, unless you're just talking in game sales and not in genres, I guess. I'm not sure what they mean.
Well, then what's the value of that comparison?
Exactly,
That's my
and
problem.
that's exactly. So it says the issue has recently become a bone of contention among analysts because the folks over at Piper Jaffray, whoever they are, believe Red Dead Redemption might not have such a good reception after all. The analysts at Piper Jaffray back up their claim by sharing a report which estimates the sales for EA, Take-Two, and Activision, setting a cataclysmic chain of events. The report was written by Michael J. Olson and Young Kim, who have revealed that Black Ops 4 will be taking the lead in sales this year by selling an estimated 21.5 million units. What fucking crack are these guys smoking? How can they just guess?
This is ridiculous.
How can they guess?
This is almost like they filled out an ad-libs form. Like,
yeah. Well, the article goes on here. It says they predict that Battlefield 5 will come in second place with projected sales of 16 by the end of March 2019.
Of 16?
Of 16.
16 copies.
Must be 16 million because they didn't put the million in there. And despite being the most anticipated game of the year, Red Dead Redemption 2 will only sell 15.5 million units by the end of March 2018. Should it be 2019? My God, this article is written by a fucking idiot.
It's written by Rolo.
This doesn't mean that Black Ops 4 will outsell Red Dead Redemption 2 throughout the game's lifetime sales total. So they're saying right off the
Okay.
bat the Black Ops 4 is going to sell more than Red Dead. Well, it may. I don't know the two release windows. If they're close, they might be. It says, case in point, Rockstar's previous game, Grand Theft Auto 5, which has become the most profitable entertainment product of all time, while Red Dead Redemption 2 won't be able to match GTA 5's phenomenal success, it still will put in some long-term success, especially considering that Rockstar's first major game since 2013. This will be a strong contrast to Call of Duty's Black Ops 4, which has potentially huge numbers that will slow down over time. I don't know, man. The last few Call of Duties haven't been that fucking well received. So to say all of a sudden,
Right.
yeah, we're projecting this to sell more than Battlefield 5 by a large margin, and then also to beat Red Dead 2, I don't know. I mean,
This whole website looks
Yeah.
like bullshit.
I think that they were smoking some fucking bad meth when they wrote this. And then it says,
It's gotta be a kid.
It says, take it with a grain of salt. None of these numbers actually have to ring true and are in fact merely estimates from the incredibly talented analysts at Piper Jaffray.
Piper Jaffray. What the fuck is this Piper?
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
believe any
It
of
should
what
also
this
be
is
noted
being said.
that other groups have provided their own estimates that are different than Piper Jaffray prediction. Example could be NPD group. I see this article and I'm like, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, it's the numbers they threw out, they're just random. Like, how can they project sales? How can they predict all this other stuff? It's like, how can they say that Black Ops is going to sell? And like someone commented on Reddit, it was like, well, they're not the same. They're not even in the same genre. They don't appeal to the same identical people. I mean, people,
Right.
The same person can play both games, which is going to happen. I mean, we all play different fucking games, but to try to compare the two is like apples and oranges. One's an online one's an online shooter, the other one's a story-driven game. So, like Battlefield and Black Ops would be a better comparison. You know.
Okay, so hang on. I'm doing a little digging here now, and I've got a website called wccftech.com. So I just did a Google search for Piper Jaffray Call of Duty, and it's linked to a lot of different sites, actually. So they released sales estimate for Call of Duty, Battlefield 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, even Anthem. And yeah, they've got a lot of numbers here. So Piper Jaffray is an analyst group. They were correct about that, but there's nothing on the Piper Jaffray site. So I'm not sure like what the hell the market is supposed to be from this place, but it doesn't look like gaming. So what do they have to do with?
So maybe they're paid to do analyst work on different things, but who paid them? Where this report?
I don't
come
know,
from
but
and who asked for it?
even on this, I'm looking at like a graph, and it says fiscal year 19 ending 3/31/2019, and then it's Battlefield 6. That's what it's listed as.
So everything related to this seems like it's just been a total fabrication. This Rolo guy smoked a big fatty and thought this was a good joke. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know this
actual
website.
basis for this.
Yeah, I mean this website's okay. I clicked on the homepage for it. It's pop up right away for Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's
They want
go.
they want Fortnite. Yeah, there's all Fortnite on the page. Oh, there's a FIFA character.
So it's
Major
a 13-year-old.
This is I don't know what the hell this website is, but yeah, I saw the article, and yeah, it's some pretty. There's money in the background, and like when you scroll the page, and their background is like money, and there's like a trophy on one side, and oh, it's stupendous.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like like I said, I'm not saying that they're gonna be wrong by, numbers. Like I have no idea who this team is that decided these numbers, but I thought it was kind of an interesting thing that say that they're, oh well, we know for sure like this is analysts have predicted this is going to exactly happen with sales numbers. I thought like Black Ops 4 trailer got like -6 million fucking votes on fucking YouTube, didn't it? Same as the Battlefield 5 one, didn't they both get just totally fucking destroyed and disliked?
I think they did both bomb, yeah.
And last year's Black Ops or last year's Call of Duty, wasn't it a fucking train wreck and didn't everyone hate it?
Yeah.
Or the
It
year
was
before that.
Infinite Warfare, right?
Yeah, the one before that. Last year was the World War II one, right? Yeah, and it was the year before that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Competed with Battlefield 1. That one didn't do very well at all. So, and I don't think the World War II one done that well either, because I don't play Call of Duty anymore, but I mean, I don't think the numbers were that shit hot. It didn't seem to be making any waves in the gaming news front anyways. But yeah,
No.
I'm like, just to think that Black Ops 4, after how crappy the Call of Duty games have been, just to say that I was going to beat Red Dead, I thought it was funny. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt
Yeah,
it.
and digging further in, this just seems more non-credible than anything else as
Like,
well.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
numbers.
I'm not saying it's not possible, like, right off the bat, the game sales, because the Call of Duty games always sell hot right off the bat because everyone's going to get in
Yeah.
and play the game first, right? Because I mean, it's online, multiplayer. The story-based game, you can pick it up 3 months later. The story's still going to be the same, right? So
Right.
I don't
Right.
think I think maybe up front the sales have a potential to be better, but I don't think the longevity is definitely not even close.
Nah,
Red Dead 2 is going to sell a boatload.
I agree. And I think even on launch, I don't know. It's Call of Duty. I mean, I know Call of Duty is still a huge title, but do they still sell like they did, 10 years ago with like Modern Warfare 2 and things like that?
Well,
I
they
don't
they
think
peaked
so.
in between now and then,
Right.
But I think it's definitely on a downslope for each release.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd have to look up the numbers to be absolutely sure, but I do believe that it's nowhere
okay,
near
I
the
just-
frenzy around COD 4 and Black Ops.
I just Googled it here. So, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was 2016. Unit sales in millions, 12.69.
a lot worse than I thought. Okay.
World War II, 12.19.
Okay.
So I don't know if this is.
What about before?
Wow, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was 30 million.
Yeah.
Black
Yeah,
Ops
see,
was
that's
30.
what I'm talking about.
Black Ops
So
2
that-
was 29, 28, 26, 25. So it's gone down. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I mean, there's something to say they're going to sell 21 million units, considering they haven't done 20 million since Advanced Warfare in 2014. That was 21.6 or 21.7, and everything else has been under 20 and steadily decreasing, like big, like from 20 down to 12.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't see anything changing that.
In not even 4 years.
trajectory.
2014 to
No.
2017, they dropped from 21 million to 12 million. So how is this
Almost
analyst team?
50%.
How does this analyst team think they're going to turn around and make a jump back up to the 20
Yeah.
million mark?
Yeah.
They're smoking some bad shit over there.
Especially in 2018. This year, I mean, there's so much competition. There's so many other games
Yes.
coming out, right? Like Red Dead.
Yeah.
Battlefield
Battlefield 5,
like let's face it, not everybody has the money to buy all the freaking games. So
Yeah.
there's going to be some people that buy Red Dead, even though it's not a competitor. It still is in a sense of, hey, I want to spend $60 on a game around, holiday season, and these people might just choose Red Dead, or they might just put Red Dead on their wish list, or Battlefield or whatnot. So I don't see that trajectory going up. I think it's probably going to go down from 12 million or stay kind of par with that number.
Well, I think that the Call of Duty fatigue is real. The past
Yeah.
couple of years, because I was tired of it years before that. But even so, the mass market appeal has always been there for Call of Duty. But yeah, the past 2 years for them, even 3 years, the sales have been plummeting, and they went down. What is that? 40% from 21 to 12. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge drop. You were talking close to $100 million, plus
Right.
all the DLC that goes with it and everything. I mean, that's massive. And I think it's just because it's the same shit every year,
Right.
Yeah.
And
it
look
really
at
is just about a roster update.
and the game we played last week, Ironside, very similar to Call
Yeah.
of Duty, or what I remember of Call of Duty.
Yeah,
when
it is.
I
It's Call of
enjoyed
Duty is
Call
for
of
sure.
Duty.
Classic Call of Duty.
Right, and this is a free to play game. So if I want my fix, that's where I go. So,
Yeah, if you're
I
looking
mean,
for that close quarters Twitch style shooter, there you go. Play it for free.
totally.
Don't
Yeah,
pay.
I enjoy Ironside a hell of a lot more than any of the last Black Ops. I mean, Black
Mhm.
Ops, Call of Duties.
Right.
The last Call of Duty that I actually enjoyed and put a decent amount of time into was Black Ops, the original one.
Me too.
Same here.
That was the last I played.
Beyond
as well.
that, fuck them.
Yeah. I burn out on them, like even just on that, and I was like, I'm done. I mean, I found Battlefield, so
Yeah. But yeah, with it, 2018 has been such a turn year for gaming, and with Fortnite being such a massive success. Last year was PUBG, and I don't know. I mean, I just feel like just a straight shooter like Call of Duty that's always been the same and really hasn't done anything to push the industry forward. Just I don't see them at all jumping that gap and going where these analysts say. So yeah, I think they're full of shit.
oh, big time. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I was like wanting to introduce it, 'cause that was pretty funny. But I mean, it's still it's like, where do these guys these analysts get their information? Because there's no way they're gonna jump since they've been on a steady decline for the last since Modern Warfare 3, they've been on a steady decline. And I mean, the big 40% drop over the last couple of years, they're also not going to gain that 40% back with this one title. I doubt it.
Right.
So yeah. So whoever wrote that article needs to fucking
And especially because this particular title is Black Ops 4, which is just continuing the trend of shit.
Yep.
It's not a new version they've been working on for 3 years that's totally different than the other Call of Duties. It's fucking the 4th sequel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but this one's
Anyways,
gonna have a battle royale though.
Oh, well, that's right. That's right.
where they're gonna
Yeah,
get 40. That's where they're gonna return.
that'll
to
turn it
40%.
around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, because we talked about that before on a previous podcast. A battle royale for Call of Duty does not fit. Like,
No.
there's just no way.
No.
It's gonna
Right.
suck.
It will. I agree. It will. And I don't even think it's gonna move a ton of units. Like that's gonna
Nope.
gonna be what
it's,
people.
it's not gonna be a selling point, I don't think.
Right. I don't think it moves the needle much.
Yep. All right. Anyways, we spent way too much time on a bullshit article. Let's move on here. So there's rumors, and I've never heard of this site either, but it says it's the home for tech enthusiasts. This site is from it's thurrot.com, spelled kind of strangely, but it says the headline here: a few more details about Microsoft's Xbox Scarlet game streaming service. Quite a headline there, but the rumor is that there's going to be 2 new Xboxes, 2 different console versions. So first, apparently Microsoft is building a traditional console that you'd expect from the Xbox brand. It's going to be, Xbox backwards or Xbox backflip, whatever they want to call it. And this is going to be, basically the next beefed up version of Xbox that you would expect. We don't know anything about specs or anything at that time because it's still the early days of development. But what this website apparently is starting to hear more about is a second device, which is basically a box that's designed for streaming. And it's going to work and be designed to excel with the company's upcoming streaming platform. Somebody referred to this as Scarlet Cloud, and I'm not sure what the sources are. Then there's nobody named. But that was apparently something that they've been working on since 2013. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. The second streaming one would be like a lower powered device, so probably a little cheaper, and probably connected very heavily through the game streaming service. But beyond that, we really don't know anything. There's no details. We don't know even code names beyond the Scarlet moniker that they're using. So I'm not sure what the difference is going to be with this next one. If it's just another hardware advance, like the last 4 different versions of the Xbox One that they've put out. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little tired of all the different versions. I can say that for sure. Aside from being a Sony fanboy, I think that they release a beefed up version every 5 or 6 years, and that's kind of the routine that we've all gotten in as far as console releases. But Xbox has just been really, really bugging the shit out of me with every year there's a different letter version of the Xbox One, and I don't know which version is which anymore. I don't know what the fuck they do, and I don't know why some are more expensive. I can't keep track because there's Xbox One S, X. I know there's another one too. What's the other one? Somebody help me out
There's
here.
the original Xbox One, then the S, then the X. Well, it's the same as PlayStation, really. I mean, they have the PlayStation 4, They have the. Did they have a slim version of the PS4?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so the
Yeah, the
PS4,
Slim.
then they had the Slim. Yeah, they do have the Slim. I think that's one that Fatti
Okay.
has.
And then the Pro.
And then the Pro. So they each have 3 consoles. So it's the same with Xbox. I mean, they have the Xbox One, the One S, and then the One X. The X is like the PS4 Pro version, right? It's their higher end model.
I
so
think
it's 4K.
Right.
it's the last one. Yeah,
It is, yeah. But don't
it
you guys
just
think
bothers me.
that's where we're headed? Like, we're not going to get a traditional next gen anymore. We're just going to get marginable upgrades to
Increments.
the
No,
hardware. Incremental
I-
upgrades.
Considering Xbox and Sony both, or Microsoft and Sony, or Xbox, PlayStation, what do you want to call them, they both are using the AMD architecture in their consoles. They're both based off similar spec and tech. AMD has leaps and bounds in the processor and the video game market, the video card market, the GPU market is fucking leaps and bounds, man. They're pushing the envelope. They're giving Intel and Nvidia the run for their fucking money in the gaming market and the PC line. If they're gonna take that tech and put it in the consoles, we're getting to more and more towards a proper spec'd out console that's going to do 1080 like this 4K stuff. I like 4K. I have a PS4 Pro on my 4K TV, and like the games that I play in 4K look fucking amazing. But to me, the whole 3060 argument all the time, they should be pushing for a 1080 60 locked in frame rate on consoles by now. Like,
Yeah.
4K is nice. Well, give me the option to do 1080 60 or lock in 4K and 30. Give me those options in my games on the next level console, and I think they'll be a lot better off. But this, with Xbox doing this 2 different consoles, I mean, if you lock yourself into the streaming one and life changes and all of a sudden you have to move to this location that's got butt fuck shit internet, what are you going to do? Like, if you moved out of a major city because of a job, or you got a console that can only do streaming and your internet fucking sucks ass, what are you going to do?
Right.
Like,
And
Well, this was the argument that they hit when they announced the Xbox One,
and
right?
we talked about this
When it was supposed to be online only.
we talked
Right.
about this in an earlier podcast about the streaming services, and I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's fine for people that live in major cities. Well, I don't even live in a major city and I have amazing internet, but people that live like where I live, if people live in a rural area, they couldn't fucking do like game streaming. The internet's garbage. So if you live in the
Right.
city, you're fine. But I mean, I
But-
know in the States that's a little different. I mean, you guys have larger cities, and even your outlying areas probably have amazing internet. But to buy a streaming console and think, okay, I bought it this year, all of a sudden, especially if you're, say if you still live at home with your parents, right? 16 years old, you cut grass or whatever you've done to make money, and sold meth. I don't know what you do to make money. So you go out, you buy a Scarlet, you take it home. 3 weeks later, Dad's like, yeah, I just got a new job. We're moving to fucking middle of Alaska somewhere where, internet's like 1 meg. What the hell are you going to do? You can't stream 4K games with 1 meg internet. Like,
We'll sell it for crack.
I like the option though, and
I-
as long as they're doing both, like what this article kind of refers to is
If-
that they have an option to buy both. I kind of like it. I kind of like having a
Well,
lesser price.
it'd
system.
have to be, it'd have
Get-
to be pretty, like if it's streaming and it's basically a box designed for streaming with a little bit of storage so you can download a few games so you could play it offline if you needed to, then like if it had like a 200 gig fucking SSD or some shit in it so you can download a couple games to it so you can at least,
See, I
play
don't
it
know if it would,
offline.
though.
I mean,
I
it'd
don't
have
know
to.
if it would though. They would.
Uber, your audio's going all snaky, dude.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You using a lot of bandwidth or something?
I don't know. I'm using this Xbox Stream box to record.
Yeah,
don't know if that's-
your audio just went like right digital there for a second. So I just didn't want to make sure we weren't going to lose you. But I
What
mean,
the hell?
the box would have to have a hard drive of some sort for an OS. But to me, it'd have to have storage of some capacity so you could download a couple games to it just in case.
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
see,
ruins
I
the
don't
point
think
of it.
they'll do that because then they're going to be competing with their own system, the higher
Yeah.
tier
I
system.
don't.
I think this
Yeah.
box will be like strictly a streaming box to get people in the door for a lesser price. And I wouldn't be shocked if some like mobile carrier services would get on board with that, like a T-Mobile or something. and sell that to customers. You
Well, that's
know, like
fine
they
for
sell
the
cell
United
phones.
States. That's fine for the United States.
But you know what I mean, like something like that. I could see it as being something like that for people who maybe aren't hardcore gamers, who don't want to make the $500-600 investment, and maybe
Right.
just want to get this like streaming box for a couple $100. They can play their Fortnite, whatever the hell else they want to play. They're probably not. It's not going to be a 4K 60
Oh,
FPS experience,
likely not.
right? It may only be 720.
Oh,
But I
Jesus.
think
So a Switch?
but I think it's going to it's going to get more people in the door, though. I think that's what they're going for. Maybe more casual people, not hardcore gamers.
Well, I mean, it'd have to be a sweet deal, but the thing is, too, if it's streaming only, then you never own a game.
Right.
So only as long as they want.
The other. Go ahead.
So it's the only. In other words, if you buy a game this year and you want to play it 2 or 3 years down the road, if they're no longer wanting to stream that game because only 12 people are wanting it, what's going to happen? So you're paying for a streaming service to play a game you really like, and all of a sudden, well, now we're not streaming it anymore. You're going to lose access to that game. Like there's a lot of like unknowns, right?
Like a Netflix type of deal, maybe a
Yeah.
rotating
Yes.
catalog.
I mean, I think it's a neat idea, and I mean, if the streaming cost of the service was cheap enough and the box was cheap enough, it would definitely get people to buy it. I mean, fuck, I'd probably buy one if there's some good, if they actually have games on it. If it was relatively inexpensive, like
and here's the crux of it is going to be, you buy a console for the games, right? So is there going to be a difference in gaming libraries? So if you, because the other console, the beefier one, is obviously going to still have some connectivity to the streaming service because it's their in-house stuff. Is the smaller version or the cheaper version of this that's purely streaming, are they going to have access to newly released titles, or is this going to be a back catalog? So it's going to depend, because if you end up paying because they have brand new titles, and if your streaming pass is tiered to where you can play a bunch of old games for $15 a month, but if you want to play newly released games, kind of like Origin Access just went tiered, if you want to play newly released games, then you pay $30 a month. The problem that I have is that that's going to end up adding up, as well. So I think that it's going to be a little too expensive to keep new games coming out on this streaming platform. I don't think that they're going to have it cheap enough to where it'll be better for the consumer, because they're going to have to make their money. You know what I mean? I don't see this being a cheap streaming service. So even getting in the door for a cheaper console, I don't know that would be the better option, because if you stream, for a year and you can play all these games, that's great, but you're still going to be end up dropping, I don't know, $200, $300, $400 possibly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any info on plans or what they're going to be. I mean, like,
I'm ballparking it.
I know it's going to have to be competitive. It's going to have to be, the console's going to have to be cheap enough, and then it's going to have to be, if they do a tiered service, in other words, $5 a month gets you Xbox One and Xbox 360 games, but then if you want the Xbox 2 games, you have to pay $22 a month or whatever. So yeah, so you're going to be paying so much a month, even if it's $5 or $10 a month. But then you're gonna have to have games with gold. Like what else? You're gonna have to have games with gold, right. And then you're gonna have to have, or not games, not games. What's it called? Xbox Live. So you have to have Xbox Live, then you have to pay for the streaming service, and you just paid for the box, and so you're gonna be better off than buying a $500 console with no streaming tiered service have to be paid for, because if you don't pay for streaming service, your box is useless. So it kind of really pigeonholes a person into it. Like, it'd have to be a cheap fucking box on those ideals right now for me to want to buy it. Now, after coming to that realization that, okay, I pay $150 for the Xbox streaming box, then I have to pay so much a month for the service. Does that include gold? What if I buy the streaming box for my wife and I buy the console for myself? Can I share? Like, there's so many unknowns.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I don't like it.
The ideas are there, and I mean, if they have the back end to support it, I'm all for technology advances. But I don't know. I think everyone is so keen on these streaming service, streaming services, that eventually that's all there's ever going to be is streaming services. No one's ever going to buy a physical game anymore.
See, I don't think this box is for us three. We're not the demo
Right.
for this.
Well,
So
I don't know.
you
I mean, like I
but-
said, I said if it was a cheap enough box and the service wasn't expensive, and they actually had some good titles.
Yeah, I mean, if the
It-
box was cheap and the service was cheap, I would probably pick one up because there's games in the Xbox catalog that I'd like to play, but I've never owned an Xbox. I almost bought a
Right.
360, years ago after the Xbox One came out because it was cheap as shit. I could get one for $100.
Yeah.
Right.
But at that point, what am I going to play? At this point in time, now, so many years later, is it going to be a satisfying gaming experience? I didn't think that it would be. Like you wouldn't go out and buy, a PS2 right now and try to play through some of those games. Just,
God no.
it's a totally different world now, so I didn't end up doing it. And then,
Yeah.
I don't want to pay several $100s for an Xbox One, and I'm definitely not going to get an Xbox One X ever. So, I mean, I've just been kind of pushed out of the market because as far as competitors go, Sony has always been my home. I've always been a Sony fanboy. But beyond that, I do genuinely think that there's better games on the Sony platform. And beyond that,
Yeah.
like if I'm going to choose, and if I have a PlayStation, I can't justify getting another console just for the few exclusives that I would want to play. Like it doesn't even out for me. But a middle ground kind of streaming service like this, again, like Panther said, if the price is right, I would be down to do that. But yeah, I'm not at all really pushing for anything like this.
And it could be a multimedia box, right? Like if you have your PS4 and your gaming room or your office set up,
Right.
this might be a good entertainment unit, where you can stream Netflix, Hulu, whatever. I'm assuming they're gonna have those things on
Yeah,
there.
I mean, it definitely,
yeah.
I mean, there's definitely potential for them to push it out to just other than just gamers if they put other service. I mean, everyone uses their PlayStation. Well, I don't now, but I used to use my PlayStation for Netflix all the time.
Right.
Don't
The
need
other
a
thing I
smart
just
TV,
found out
so-
is Xbox is the only platform right now where you can actually rent and stream true 4K movies. You can't do it on PS4. You can't do it, I mean, unless you have the physical disc, like a Blu-ray disc or something. Xbox One X is the only system you can actually rent a 4K movie on. Because I was looking for that. I was trying to rent a movie on PS4, and none of them are in 4K. So
The PS4
I
Pro doesn't
Googled it.
even have a 4K player in it,
Right, that's right.
which I thought was a bad move for them. But
Right.
and the Xbox One S has a 4K Blu-ray player in it. So I mean, like
Right.
they've made some smart decisions to try to get some market share in the console, but it still wasn't enough to do anything. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Microsoft's made some bad decisions, but they made some good ones. But
Yeah, I don't like this one. I don't like that they're competing against themselves, and I think that it's almost disingenuous to price the streamer one at a lower price point because you buy that to get in the door, but as soon as you take a step in, you're hit with, 2 subscriptions that you got to get, and that shit adds up in just a couple months, to the price of the console.
yeah, well, we don't
Right.
know.
Because
It's a lot like
gonna-
cell phones. It's really
Yeah.
like cell phones. You want that new Samsung shiny phone? Sure, you can get it at T-Mobile for $20 a month, right? Or
Yeah.
you can buy it outright without any carrier restrictions on it for a cool $950, right? So it's like, okay, but you end up actually paying the same, right? Or even more if you end up spending $20 a month
Yeah.
for the rest of your life,
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait on more details because the speculation, we could go forever. But right now, I instinctively don't like this that they're splitting their efforts, and I think that's probably just because Microsoft can't decide. They've never really been able to say something and then stick to it. I don't think, at least not recently, not in the past few years for sure. I mean, with the disaster that was the announcement of the Xbox One. They had to do a complete 180 on that because it was terrible, and nobody wanted what they were trying to sell. So I mean that, and like I said, I don't know. I don't like the so many versions of the same thing, and it's extremely incremental. And now we have 2 versions possibly of this coming out, and I don't see either one being a gold mine for them either. So I don't know. Microsoft just seems too wishy-washy, and I don't think that they're really in touch. But that's just me.
Well, like I said, there's good and bad in what they're trying to do, and we're just going to wait and see how it pans out. I'm interested to see what comes of this, whether it's good or bad.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll see, and we'll definitely be covering it.
For sure.
That's right.
All right, so this podcast has completely derailed on our goal of getting through a bunch of articles. Let's go ahead and move on. Uber, talk to us about your game.
I'll keep it quick and simple here. Fortnite Mania fuels Epic growth to 8.5 billion. That's billion with an M. Those of you keeping track. So that makes what Bloomberg here, this article is saying that pretty much makes Tim Sweeney, who is the CEO of Epic, a billionaire. He's raked in the cash by doing something that sounds kind of crazy. He gave the game away, right? I mean, it's free on all platforms. And the reason I added this article here is because I thought that this might be a shift in gaming, how traditional gaming, how we view traditional gaming, $60 entry fee to buy the game and things like that. And then we've seen other companies, have a $60 title and then adding a bunch of microtransactions to kind of fuel their profits that way. Well, with Fortnite, they've done it a completely different route. They've given the game away. They've kind of gone the mobile gaming, really, because you see so many free-to-play mobile games, right? And a lot of them, they make a ton of cash just by microtransactions. So much like that with Fortnite, Fortnite's just swept. It's been a worldwide phenomenon, and Tim Sweeney, who created Epic Games many years ago, I think it says in the article, he created the company in his parents' basement 27 years ago, and obviously he was a rich man before, thanks to Unreal and all the stuff that he's created before Fortnite ever became a thing. But Fortnite has definitely taken it to a new level. So yeah, he's a billionaire, made a ton of cash by giving a game away, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible, really. A meteoric rise in the popularity and profitability of this game. And I will never, ever understand that.
Join the club.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
But, oh, well, I mean, I'm okay.
Hey,
I'm okay with his success. That's fine.
Yeah. I was the same thing when Overwatch was the fucking cat's fucking nibbles. It's like, yeah, whatever, dude. I tried to debate. I was like, this is whatever. I don't like it. Like, I don't see the fun in it. See you later. Bye.
Yeah, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Now, you guys don't enjoy Fortnite, but do you guys think this is a good thing for us gamers? Because I think in a way it is, because I think other companies like EA now have to look at things like that and say, hey, maybe we need to, make more games more accessible to the masses, and maybe give games away or make games cheaper for people to get into the door. And then, the thing about Fortnite, the one thing that I'll always commend them for is that all this stuff you spend money on in the game, it's all cosmetics, right? It's all stuff that you want, but not stuff that you need to do anything in the game, right? You can be an awesome player, have a great time with your generic skin, but if you do want those cool skins, you might have to buy them, but you don't need to. And that's one thing that I really love about this, and I think it's a good thing for gaming as a
I mean, I get the free game. It's great that they give the game away for free, and anyone can pick it up on pretty much any platform and play it, and and get the experience of playing it and playing with friends or whatever else you want to do with it. But it's that whole dropping new shit every 12 seconds into the game. Oh, here's a new hat. Here's a new fucking pickaxe. Here's a new purple pants. Here's new, and the kids are just fucking eating that shit up. It's like a fucking addiction. It's it's like that's how they made a fucking $1 billion, is off people's addiction of buying worthless shit. Like,
Yeah, but it's they sell stuff that people want.
oh,
I mean,
it's not loot boxes. I have no problem with customizations, but that's the whole backbone of their game, is funding it by people spending gobs and gobs of money on flashy in-game items that I don't understand. I don't get that whole I need a purple unicorn, or I need a fucking basketball net as a pickaxe, or I need sneakers with wings on them, or whatever else shit they put in the game. I don't see why anyone would need that or even want to spend money on it. I'm definitely not the person this game is marketed to. I mean, I don't like the game. I tried it. I'm not one of the people that did say I'm not interested and never looked at it. I played it. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't in the proper frame of mind, or didn't play with the right group of guys when I tried it a couple times. But I don't know. I just don't see the draw to it. And the fact that they've made the money solely on cosmetics is interesting, and definitely something that I like to see going forward, because it gets rid of season passes. It gets rid of paying for maps. It gets rid of a lot of those things that have hampered gaming. Battlefield and Call of Duty, those games have always been locked behind people buying season passes and map packs, so that, to play with your friends, if I buy it, then you have to buy it, right? So if you don't want the maps, but you want to play with me and I'm playing the new maps, you have to spend the money. But I mean, at least with a game like Fortnite, and like how the games are happening now with the Battlefield 5 having no season pass and etc., it's definitely turned the way people are going to look at gaming. But to give a game away and then just hope that everybody gets addicted to buying fucking purple pants is crazy. How is that? Like, that business model is not going to continually work, because people are going to spend more money on cosmetics than they would ever on the fucking game if they had to paid $60 for it and then $50 for a map pack a year later, right?
Right.
They
didn't expect this success either, though.
No,
That's
I know.
the thing,
I know they
capitalized.
didn't. I know they didn't. I mean, their original game of Fortnite flopped. Really, it didn't really do anything. But they decided to make the battle royale version of PUBG, or their version of PUBG, and they just had a lot better fleshed out, and they were smart. They played with smaller maps, and it worked for them. And people went from PUBG to Fortnite. And I mean, I get it. And I mean, I commend them. I'm not like saying this is wrong, but to think that every other battle royale game, or every other game free, is going to be just jammed with nothing but cosmetics and that mobile game look, just to draw you in to spend money on purple pants and whatever else they can try to trick you into buying to make your experience that much better. I'd hate to ask how much. I mean, I could ask you, but you don't have to tell me. How much money have you spent on Fortnite? If you don't have to tell us, you don't want to, but you've spent more on it, I bet, than if you had paid $60 for the game and just played it. Right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. I'd guesstimate I've spent about $200 to $250 on it.
Jeez.
See,
somewhere in there.
So I mean, then you're probably on the lower end of people that play as much and don't spend, and probably people that spend more. I know one of the girls I work with, she said her younger brother, that's all he wanted for Christmas was like fucking V cards, or whatever the hell, the V bucks or whatever that was. That's all he wanted for Christmas.
The V bucks, yeah.
Whatever that is.
Now here's the thing though, if I had to do it all just by the pass, and that's it. Every 10 weeks you get the $10 battle pass, and you get like 7 skins. You get a ton of stuff. You get more skins than you'll ever really use, right? Because I look at those $20 skins that I've bought, and I have like a dozen of them now. And, I run around with the 1 or 2 or 3 of the same skins all the time. So if I had just bought the battle bundle from the very beginning, I'd probably have about 40, 50 skins by now for $40, right? $40 or $50. So, there's different ways of spending, and you can kind of pick and choose what you spend your money on. But yeah, at the height of it, when I was really into it, new skin, I'd buy it, and part of it was because I was streaming it, and I wanted to have the cool new skin that just came out, so that's part of it. And I know what you're saying, Panther. A lot of kids, same thing, right? They want to show off to their friends the new skin that just came out, so they're dropping $20 here and there. But I mean, that's the world we live in today, right? I'd much rather buy a skin that I see in the store and I know I can buy it right now, than buy a box or a loot pack
Oh,
or
I
something of a
1000%
chance to
agree.
get one of those, right?
1000% agree. Like we all have the same stand. Loot boxes can go fuck themselves. But like
Yeah,
I
for
said, like
sure.
for like as this being a good thing for gaming, it is and it isn't, because it's going to be. I mean, people are going to have to make a game, spend the money developing, the time developing, the team developing to create the game, to market it, and then give it away, hoping that okay,
They make it back. Yeah.
17 million kids are going to freak out over this hat with a fucking halo on it and spend fucking $20 a week on it for the next, year and a half for us to
But
make any money.
here's the thing, though. You better make a damn good game if
Well,
that's what you're banking on,
that's the
right?
thing, right?
You better make a damn good
The
game.
thing. So, yes, it's good, and to me, I think, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong. It's a little bit bad too, because how much more crap is just gonna get fucking shoved down everyone's throat for free? Oh, come play this, come play that, come play this, and then when people get into it, it's gonna be, oh, well, it's just gonna be cosmetic shit shoved down your throat every time you load the game. This new, that new, this sparkles, this shines, this shoots fucking rainbows, this is unicorn wings. Like who? Like it's gonna be like ridiculous. I mean, we see that with how mobile games are. I mean, we played 2 games that were ported from. Well, I mean, 1 game that was ported from mobile, and look how fucking horrible that interface is, right? Rules of Survival, right? We're gonna see a lot more stuff like that if this becomes as big. And I mean, the battle royale thing, I'm so sick of seeing new battle royale. There's 5 more battle royale games slated to be released the next fucking 3 weeks. I think it's ridiculous. And I mean, battle royale games are getting shoved down our throat. Next, it's going to be free to play games with all these cosmetics are going to be shoved down our throat. It's definitely going to be a trend. For how long, who knows? But like I said, there's good and bad. I mean, I don't know. I mean, beating the dead horse on this topic again. I thought this was supposed to be short and sweet. Yeah, we're getting nowhere. We're getting nowhere.
We're 45 minutes on 3 topics.
This is brutal.
We're not gonna get through half.
Not even close. Not even close.
Oh fuck! All right, Panther. I don't agree with this either. But go ahead and tell us about this topic.
Sorry, I just kind of went on a rant there.
No, it's fine. We all did. It's fine.
Yeah. So, So this article here, it says if Anthem doesn't succeed, it won't be the end of BioWare, says ex studio designer. So they're already saying if it doesn't succeed, like holy crap! Like, can they be more down on themselves? Like, I'm hoping Anthem's a great game. I mean, I always want Destiny to be a great game. I always want Destiny 2 to be a great game. And Destiny was a great game for a long time to me. I burnt myself out. That's my own fault. Destiny 2, I just couldn't get back into playing it. I mean, it looked good. It played good. But other than that, it fell flat. And Anthem kind of is the same loot shooter type game that Destiny is. But it definitely has some different things to it. I kind of interested in it, and with Origin Premium coming and this being included in it, it's definitely something that I have potential to put some time into. But everyone knows the track record of EA and buying and crushing gaming companies. And it says last month Baldur's Gate lead designer James Olin left BioWare after 22 years of service. Prior to his departure, Olin worked on Anthem. So in other words, the guy was there for 22 years, working on this new game coming out, and just leaves. He reckons the upcoming action RPG will do well at launch, but it won't mark the end of the studio should it flop. So, like, that's kind of a negative way to talk about a big title that they're pushing for next year. To go into an interview with PC Gamer, which is, it's a pretty big website, a lot of people read it, and to say, and right off the bat, the headline being saying, if it doesn't do well, and then talking about flopping, and how, the words BioWare would be, basically crushed by EA like they've done to some other ones. It's I don't know, man. I seen the article and I read through it, and man, you don't talk negative about a game that's not even out yet. Especially if you're either on the team or were once on the team. You must not have left in good graces. But man, like,
I don't know, but beyond that, I disagree with his evaluation. I think if Anthem flops, that is going to be it.
I think BioWare would have a hard time,
BioWare has not done extremely well since Destiny.
Bioware
I don't
didn't
think. I
make,
mean, they.
Bioware didn't make
Huh?
Destiny.
No, I mean, it's what's the fucking Andromeda? Andromeda. That's what I was thinking of.
The Mass Effect game. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a critical failure. I mean, just
yeah.
really, really just tits up in the water, just awful. So,
It's,
yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. Usually, it's one bad game and EA, drops the axe. But with BioWare, they're getting another chance, and Anthem to me just looks like another Destiny type game, like you just kind of said.
well,
So,
it's what it is. It's a looter shooter type game. It's but like I
yeah,
said, there's I mean, like I said, they're doing some things different than Destiny, and like I said, it being part of the Origin Premium definitely was going to it'll get some numbers because people are going to be buying that anyways. So it definitely going to get some player count. Hopefully, at least on PC. And like I said, I'll if I get Origin Premium, I'll definitely be taking a look at this for sure when it comes out. But I'm not going to be one of the people that drop any money on it on console. If it's free with the service, I'll play
right.
it. But if not, I'm not looking
I
to
don't
buy it.
I don't see this game doing very well, and especially because if they don't see sales numbers for this game in particular, like I think that Origin Access Premier is going to be good for EA. I think that is a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Because EA, has some of the biggest releases of the year every single year. So even if you only buy it for a month, I think it's still a decent deal. But that's not going to translate into direct Anthem sales, which is what they're going to be looking at. So even if Anthem succeeds through the medium of Origin Access, I don't think that it's going to be a flagship game. I don't think it's going to be something that's, game changing in the way that like this genre that it's in, plays. I'm not impressed at all by anything that I've seen from Anthem. Like I said, it looks like just another Destiny type game. It doesn't do anything for me.
No, I mean, like I said, I get that. Like I said, but like I said, I'm not like I said. I like Destiny, like the first one. I burnt myself out on it. But like I said, with this game, the only way I'm gonna buy it is because it's in Origin Premium, or the way I'm gonna play it, I should say, if it's included in Origin Premium, because I'm not gonna shell out money to buy this game because I'm not interested in it because of what I went through with Destiny 2. So
Right.
anybody that's in that mindset is going to be sitting back waiting for reviews, for numbers. But like I said, Origin Premium, I mean, if they go by sales, I mean, it's hard to say that, okay, if there's the player count on PC is, throw a number 200,000, then they can't say that's not including into sales, because if they go by player count, but we see that in Steam all the time, right? They talk player count a lot. So I mean, on a digital service, we're talking player counts. If the numbers are high enough, we'll not say it's a success, but we can't say it's a complete failure. But just
it's a worse business model though, because it's cheaper than buying just the game.
Exactly. Like I said, I'm not saying it's Origin Premium is going to make or break this game for them. It definitely could help them. I don't see it hurting them. But like I said, their console numbers are going to be what's really going to show EA where this game was worth their development time. But I tell you right off the bat, I think that if BioWare, this game fucking tanks, we will not see a BioWare title from EA. BioWare be done. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Is whether what this guy says in the article, all he wants, saying that BioWare's done so much and been around for so long and yada yada. No,
it doesn't matter.
I'd
so
say
of all the other studios that EA axed.
Yeah, if it's just tanks, then I'd say they're done.
Yeah. Uber, what do you think?
Well, this is going to be something that I'm going to. Yeah, I'll be using Origin Access Premier subscription, whatever the heck you want to call it, to try that out. That's definitely not going to be a game that I'm going to be buying right off the bat.
So there you go.
Right.
And there's a few games just like that I'm going to probably use the same approach on. Which I guess I can take the next topic. I know it's a couple down, but
go ahead, because
it does tie right into that.
It does. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So Bethesda tweeted that they're blown away by the response to the Fallout 76 beta entries. I guess they're sorting out details and they'll let us know. Okay, go ahead. That's it.
Wow, that was
I mean, there was no other information in that. Fallout 76 announced they were gonna have a beta. Everyone's like, "Yay, beta!" and that's it.
You knocked that one out. Nice. So back to the Origin Access from EA here. Anthem coming out in February, Madden coming out next month, FIFA coming out in September. We got Battlefield in October, I believe, right?
Right.
It's coming out in October.
Yeah.
So the new premier tier of this Origin Access is pegged to drop this week. So by the time you guys listen to it, I don't see an exact date on this article here. This is a PC Gamer article, but you guys can always refer back to the EA help page. But I don't see an exact date. It's supposed to drop this week, though. And what it does, it gives you guys access to all of their top tier new releases that EA is going to drop on PC, as well as the other stuff that's already in the catalog that you already get from your basic subscription if you do have the it's Origin Access, that's what it is. On PC. So the difference between the two are obviously you get unlimited access to these games, not just a 10-hour trial period that you're used to with the basic Origin Access. You get unlimited access. You can play as much as you want, and you can also play these games 5 days before the official launch. That's similar to the basic subscription. You can try them out 5 days before they launch. You get a 10% discount on any games in the Origin store. That's pretty much up to par with the basic subscription, and then you get the access to the vault just like you do on the basic. So really, you get to play all the top tier games unlimited for $15 per month. So I know we talked about it off air, the four of us actually, and I'm definitely going to try it out. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep it, but I'll certainly try it out in October for Battlefield, because that's another title that we all agreed that we may just play on PC because of this Origin Access.
I canceled my PlayStation 4 pre-orders.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's a game, I've bought Battlefields in the past, but I'm definitely not as hardcore into the franchise as you guys are. And that was definitely a game I was kind of on the fence about. And now with this Origin Premier tiered access, I might just try it out and see how much I like it, and maybe just keep the membership. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm looking to sign up for it probably the day before Madden comes out, so I don't have to pay, because if you sign up for this week, you're really not getting you're getting the backlog, you're basically just getting the basic membership but for a higher price. So you might as well wait till one of those premier titles are coming out and just buy it.
I see this being like a wave of every new release. You'll have probably a solid month or two of like much higher significant like spikes in subscriptions, and then it'll peter out, for a while. So it'll be nice for them to take a look at the analytics there, and see if maybe that is somewhat of a workable business model, to keep them afloat during peak times as well, even if sales are a little bit low. Like with Anthem, we might see that, to where if suddenly 10 or 15 million people subscribe the week before Anthem, then right there, if sales are down, they can point to that to their investors and say, look, we still got this. So it could be interesting. We'll see. But I'm definitely
it's a great way to hedge your bets. Yeah, it's a great way to hedge your bet a little, right? If it is a title that may not do well, but you might have a lot of interest, this Anthem might be that title, where people are on the fence about. And you're right, like you may get a ton of new subscriptions, so they're still gonna make some revenue. They're gonna get in some revenue, because of that game. So.
And the thing right now, I mean, they're launching it like this week or whatever coming, but they don't list what's available. I know there was on the Origin page, it was A Way Out and Unravel 2. Well, I want to play Unravel 2. I liked the first one. I really liked the Unravel game. So, but I'm not dropping the extra money for that. I'll wait until Battlefield 5 because there's nothing else. Like Madden, I played a little bit of Madden a couple years ago. I'm not a big Madden fan. I'm definitely not a FIFA fan.
Madden on PC is gonna be wild though, dude.
But
I know it. This is their first year back, I think, in a while.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm probably not going to drop any coin on it until Battlefield. So unless something else comes in between, I don't think there is. So yeah, Battlefield comes in October. I'll be playing it for that, and I'll be playing those other games that are already included. And you never know, I could play Madden and love it. I could play FIFA and love it. I actually tried one of the FIFA games on the current Origin Access, and I'm like, whatever. I mean, it looks kind of good, but I don't know soccer, so it didn't draw me in.
All right, so we're we're at the hour mark.
And we talked about hammering these out too. This is bad.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
God,
We always
fail
do.
every time. I know. Every time we do, we're like, okay, this time is gonna be the one.
Yeah, and we only had 3 of us, and we still fucking like just ranted and rambled on like maniacs for fucking an hour already. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It really shows it shows how Fatti balanced us out, I guess, because the 3 of us will just ramble. I think he's just more to the point. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna nix the rest of the topics that we had, I guess, because we can't go on for another hour. So I guess this is the segment now to where we'll talk about our game of the week. I know, Panther, you've been dreading this moment.
You know what I'm dreading? You know what I'm dreading is editing the fucking
editing.
game.
Yes, yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
So the big reveal here, the game of the week that we played is Russian Fishing 4.
We skipped 1, 2, and 3 and went right to 4.
Yeah, so did the developers apparently. So I haven't found any evidence that there is a Russian Fishing 1, 2, or 3. On Steam, it only lists Russian Fishing 4, and the developer, the name of the developer is actually Russian Fishing. So they're extremely dedicated to this particular franchise.
There is a Russian Fishing 3.
racing game anytime soon.
There is a Russian Fishing 3. I just googled it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. I don't know where you play it though.
Well.
There's actually there's YouTube clips.
In Russia.
Yeah. Yeah. Russian Fishing 3. So there you go.
Before we get to talking about any of it, as you can imagine, it's a fishing game. But let's go ahead and roll some footage and see what highlights Panther has for you guys today. So take a look at that, and we'll be right back.
Wow, I just buy some worms, and they've set me free.
Right?
I am now free to fish in Russia.
Press Z to zoom in. Wait for the bite.
Z to zoom in. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
What?
If you set the hook successfully, you will feel the load on the rod. Oh yeah, that's what I like to feel. Nope, I didn't get it.
Wait for the bite. Watch the hook. If it sinks or moves to the side, set the hook. So the bobber's going down. So now I reel in.
Yeah, when it goes under the water.
I caught a Chinese sleeper. There we go. Oh, I got achievements. Steam achievements, baby. My friends are gonna be jelly. How's you going there, Uber? What are you up to?
I just watching my rod in my hand.
No, I meant in the game.
Oh.
Wait it, you fuck. Come on. Put it in your mouth. Yeah. Oh, I think I yanked a little too hard.
Well, you can't pull it as soon as they put it in their mouth. Let them, enjoy it for a little bit. Jesus,
That's
Panther.
true. Let them savor.
Mm-hmm. So selfish. I mean, you want to finish immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I just figured if he, was in his mouth, it was a good time to go,
Oh yeah, boys, I'm out here.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Stop engine. G. Trolling mode. What the hell is that?
It's like a very slow speed.
Oh, I got you.
And it's quieter so it doesn't scare fish.
Dropping the anchor. Standing up on my boat. And I'm
Shit.
casting this bitch. Oh yeah, guys.
All that for your bobber.
I got a $9 million boat and a $4 rod.
Pretty much. Oh, okay. I'm getting nibbles. Here we go.
Oh, me too.
Come on.
Come on.
Take it.
Take it. Do it. Oh, they stopped. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's good. Put it in your mouth. Come on. You want it.
Get it nice and deep in there. Come on.
Come on. Oh,
There we go. He took it.
yeah.
No!
Oh, what the hell's going on? The same thing happened to me.
I pulled up and there was just nothing.
Yep.
The
same here.
fuck?
Boot.
Yeah.
Just a Russian soldier boot.
It's an actual Russian soldier just coming up out of the water. Okay, so
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, probably
Many
not
highlights come to mind.
really conversational highlights though, because the actual gameplay, as Panther I'm sure is going to rant about at some point here soon, the actual gameplay was pretty lacking, because for the first full hour the only thing we were using was bobbers, to where we just stare at the screen hoping for something to happen until I figured out. I stumbled upon, because the tutorial was completely worthless for this. I finally stumbled upon how we switched to a spinning rod. And I was able to, after one full hour of dicking around with bobbers, finally figure out how to fucking cast and then set the
What a
hook and
game
everything
changer
like
that was.
It really was, because Panther was trying to commit suicide.
In the game, not in real life. In the
I
game.
mean,
Yeah.
how close were you?
I don't know. The cord for my microphone was looking pretty enticing. I mean, we're talking right now. I haven't edited this fucking nightmare yet, so this might be my last podcast. I don't know. Like I said, good job. Good job. I got a liquor. I got a liquor full. I got a fridge full of liquor, so I might be all right to get this editing done.
I'm so excited to see what you do with this video. I
got some ideas rolling to try to make it, because I mean I gotta do for the weekly video, because me and Fatti have kind of off traded a couple times for the weekly, and the last couple I've done them. I mean, give me an opinion on the video editing, by the way. Has it been great or what? Come on, give me some.
It
love.
has. Yeah, you've done a fantastic
I've enjoyed
job.
it.
So
Yes.
so I mean,
I love, and my favorite new thing that you've been doing is switching between all of our cameras. Like since you've done that, to me, they've become 1,000% more enjoyable.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
agreed.
it's definitely something new I learned. And actually, when I had done some other videos that weren't podcast related, I actually was having a pretty good time doing it. So I'm hoping now that I got it down a little bit better and be able to actually edit some stuff and actually do it in a timely manner, instead of me taking a whole day to try to edit one video. But yeah, I'll do the weekly, and then what I do then from there is cut enough clips to put in the podcast so you guys can get an idea while you're listening, and then watch what we done, and then you can jump over and enjoy 20 or 30 minutes maybe, depending on what I can find for footage, depending on the game. This one's probably going to be about 8 minutes long, because there's probably not a whole lot, there's not a whole lot of excitement. There's a few good comments made by everybody, but other than that, it's yeah.
Well, we did catch some fish though.
We did, yeah.
Panther, you and I finished at 11, and Uber finished at 9. So
Right.
there's some action going on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's catching fish, But yeah, I have some ideas to try to make this a little more entertaining, maybe a little more, off the cuff crazy. Maybe, I don't know. Depending on what kind of time frame I have to edit the video, we'll have to wait and see. But I'll try to make it lively and entertaining as I can with the edits. I know our commentary was gold in some of it. So
Yes, some of it. I was gonna say, Panther, despite you and I having the tie for the highest fish count, Uber, we do need to congratulate him on having the largest fish.
yes,
So bravo to you, sir.
yes,
Thank you.
Was
I
it
think
tasty?
it was
Supreme
1.1
angler.
kilograms.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Obviously,
know.
Russian fishing, we follow the metric.
Yeah, which totally throws me for a loop. I think that's like, I've got no clue what the conversion rate is.
There
But
you go.
I think it's like 4 fish tacos.
Okay,
that I caught.
how many tacos is that fish? That should be a standard rate of measurement.
I know.
Great.
I just can't wait for the comments from Fatti on this. I can't wait.
He's
He's
just
gonna be so jealous. I mean, so jealous.
Yeah.
Childbirth is great and all, but come on,
Russian fishing for.
Russian
Let's
fishing.
be honest here. Let's be honest here. I mean, he could never admit it to his wife. Be honest here. He wanted to be here.
God.
Oh fuck.
And I'm trying to think because while we were playing, I did mention I played this other free to play game called Fishing Planet, and it's on PS4 and on PC. I'm not sure about Xbox, but I've actually played it on uh, both platforms, and it's enjoyable. It's just as deep as this game is as well, and just as challenging actually, because this was kind of hard. Especially to figure out. Just trying to do shit was difficult enough, but the actual like fishing I think is harder in Fishing Planet, like in reeling them in and fighting with them, and it's more realistic in Fishing Planet than this. But even so, it's not the easiest thing to just kind of be patient and chill. Now with us playing as a group, we had more of an enjoyable time than any of us could have ever done playing solo. That's for sure.
I wouldn't have lasted
Um,
fucking 5 minutes.
No, for sure.
No.
No, I was
I
getting.
know
I was.
nothing about fishing.
I was
but
getting
just
bored of the
scrolling
tutorial
through the
before you showed
menus-
up. You know.
Yeah, and just scrolling through the menus and stuff, and the different rods and reels and bait and hooks, and like it's pretty deep. I mean, it's pretty intense. If you're really
Yeah.
into fishing, I could see how this game be your jam. I just don't know anything about fishing. I mean, I throw the thing out there and I wait for it to wait for it to move, and I'll reel the sucker in. But it's pretty deep. I was pretty impressed at all the different
Yeah.
equipment items, right? Like that, as far as that's concerned, it was pretty deep.
Yeah, and then the graphics weren't terrible either.
No.
And
Mm-mm.
I was very, very surprised by how in depth it was, because I legitimately thought that this game was a joke
Oh,
before
yeah, so did I.
before we downloaded it, because I was
Right.
I was expecting, number one, it's a free to play game, so how good can it be? Number two, it's a fishing game, so how good can it be? And number three, it's fucking Russian fishing. So like, what specifically about this? Like, what am I gonna play? And I didn't think that it would be like a legit fishing simulator. Like it's comparable to Fishing Planet, which is a serious free to play but like very deep and involved fishing experience. This is the same thing. It's just I don't know, I didn't get a significantly like Russian vibe from it, except that you could buy alcohol in the game.
Yes.
It's really the biggest difference between this and Fishing Planet. Yeah.
I think I was ruined. I think I was ruined by Far Cry 5's fishing.
Yeah, that was fun. We did talk about that while we were playing. Far Cry 5 had a lot of fun fishing, actually.
Yeah,
I heard that was amazing. I heard that's amazing. I've seen some clips on Twitter and stuff.
It's just one of the
I haven't played
highlights,
Far
for sure.
Cry 5, but yeah, a lot of people were raving about it.
Yeah, the game itself was good, but the fishing was fun. We had a little competition going on. Me and Baker, every once in a while there'd be a fucking photo of our fish posted in the chat, so we could who got the bigger fish, and it was kind of a thing. And I spent quite a bit of time fishing just because it was fun. It was challenging when you catch some of the big fish, trying to reel them in without breaking the line. Like, that's kind of what I was looking for with this. I thought, this could actually be something fun to go out and say, look, I caught a fucking this fish. It's big, this big. And it'd be kind of a competition between us even after the podcast. But I don't see me going back to this game.
Yeah, it was just a little too hands off. It really didn't teach us how to do anything. And like I said, it took us an hour before I stumbled upon the solution to getting out of the bobber phase.
Yeah.
Right.
And that and the skill points, I don't know how we got them, but we didn't get them for leveling up to level 2 because all of us made it. And we didn't get a skill point to distribute on a different form of fishing, or like bottom fishing was one that I was trying to get to. And, we could change, the depth of our leader, but we, essentially we're just doing the same thing every single cast, and without, any type of help or direction, it was very hard to figure that out. And shit, for how deep the game is, I can only imagine the headache of trying to figure out the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if someone's looking for a fishing simulator with depth, then this might be the game for you. But considering the three of us, I don't think are really anywhere at all interesting in fishing at all. In a large scale anyway. Like I said, Far Cry 5 was entertaining for fishing. I may try Fishing Planet if you say it's halfway fun. Maybe we'll play that down the road. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, it's hard, but it does, teach you, and I feel like it's a little more user friendly. It looks a little bit better. I mean, all around, it's an improvement, I think, on this game.
And
So,
it's free to play as
I'd be
well,
willing to
so.
hop on. Yes, also free to play. So I'd be willing to hop on there with you, and maybe we can, have a part 2 of a free to play fishing game. Maybe we'll enjoy that more. But what do we think for the recommendation here? Are we gonna?
Well,
Is anybody gonna go positive?
for like,
I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 3 out of. I'll give it 3 out of 5. I mean, I'm
Really?
not the demo.
really,
Yeah.
3 out of 5. I wouldn't give. I'd give it 3 out of 10. Uh, I mean,
I'm not the demo, right?
no, we're
if-
definitely,
right.
yeah, we're definitely not.
My dad's really into fishing, and he's not really into video games. He may enjoy this, like, because
But-
it's a simulator. It's
Yeah,
not-
but there's
I
still,
don't- it's
if it had a better tutorial system, I'd recommend it to
Yeah.
someone who had, and if someone that liked to fish and kind of liked video games, would be fine. But anyone who doesn't play video games would be fucking lost in this after the 12-second tutorial's up, right? Because it
Maybe
doesn't
so, but
it
if-
doesn't direct you anywhere. I mean, it definitely has a lot of
Right.
depth because it had lots of rods, lots of reels, lots of line, lots of bait. Like, fuck, it was endless everything. So I mean, there's lots of content for someone who is really into that and understands it. But for someone who
Right.
understands fishing but doesn't understand video games, may have a problem with it. I think just because there's no, there really is no handholding outside of that tiny little tutorial. So
I agree with that.
true.
yeah, so I mean,
That's true.
if you do have some video gaming knowledge and like fishing, this could be for you. But if you just want to go in and play like a simple little fishing game and you like video games, this is not for you.
No.
Yeah, it just lacked the excitement, right? Like, I'm looking for a little. When I get a fish on the hook, to me, that's the most exciting
Yeah,
thing
you should
that
be. You should be.
happen
And
in
it
this
should
game,
be.
right?
I get
And I
get
just
it.
didn't feel
Yeah.
excited, right? There wasn't much, like, you're not battling the fish, you're not fighting with them, and maybe that's just because we're at such a low level, right? We're just
Well,
I
I mean,
didn't
even
even have real.
when I got the reel and was figuring out, the how to cast and how to fight them, and I got the spinning rod, it was exciting, but it also was only exciting because, like, I was excited for a different experience than the lull of the majority of the game. It wasn't
Mhm.
that the mechanic of catching a fish was exciting. It was, oh
Right.
shit, something's actually happening now. This is good. But
And
but
then when you
it was
did
the same
get the
thing.
fish, was it gratifying? I mean, did you feel gratified
When I
after
got
getting
the
that
fish? No, because then I didn't know how many graham crackers came in that package. Like, I don't know the measurements. So I mean, but the action of reeling in the fish is you just hold down the left click. So I mean, it can be as exciting or as boring as you make it. I got excited
Yeah.
because I felt, pride in actually figuring out how to get this new rod and how to do this, and then I had to figure out how to maneuver the lures and try to figure out, what's the best action that I should be doing. I had to figure it out, and I was proud and excited that I figured out that process. But just objectively looking at it, like, okay, a fish is on, you right click to set the hook, and you just hold the left click, and that's literally it. That's not exciting.
No, there was
That's-
no
yeah,
there was no
that's lame.
battling really going on. But I guess I could give it a 3 out of 10, but I give it a 3.5 because of the flashlight clicking noise.
Oh yeah, that was
And
phenomenal.
and it's a 3.5 as well, not just for the flashlight clicking, but the fucking V8 rumble on that fishing boat. It's a fucking dinghy with an outboard, but it sounded like a V8, baby.
It was a big board.
It was large bore. It was a large bore dinghy. But yeah, I mean, there's potential for someone who would find that entertaining, but for us, it's definitely a big fucking swing and a miss.
Just thinking back on this, the fact that you have to buy a boat rental ticket at a location, it's just ridiculous to me.
But I mean, yeah, I
Just
mean,
let
it's
me hop on
definitely
the fucking boat, man.
it's definitely a simulator.
Peek out the shack where
Yeah.
you can buy the boat rental ticket. Just
Yeah,
let me
it's definitely
fucking hop on
it's
this thing.
definitely quite the sim. I tell you that much.
Yeah.
Rent a
I
boat
think
for the day.
I'll round it out about in between you two guys. I don't think it was a terrible experience. which Panther probably disagrees with. But I can look at this. I'll give it 2 scores. So objectively, as a fishing simulator, I'd probably give this like a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. But that's only just because of the possibility that, all the depth in the game allows. So maybe it changes drastically, depending on location, depending on the type of rod that you have, the different reels and everything that you can set up, lures, baits, the type of fishing, like deep sea fishing. I don't know what they have, so like without knowing the full potential of this game, I'll give it a little bit more of a ceiling. So in between a 5 and a 6, I would say objectively. It's definitely a deep simulator. There's lots of room for customization, and you can buy a whole lot of things. There's an in-game economy that's a lot more robust than I thought it would be, or that I think it needs to be, really. But it is a hardcore fishing simulator. So 5 and a 6 objectively, somewhere in there. For me personally, I was a little put off by the lack of tutorial, and just kind of having to figure things out can sometimes be good for the gamer to do. But in a hardcore sim like this, I don't really think so. I think that there should have been a more robust system, kind of guiding us out of the bobber stage to get us into a spinning rod. I think that's basic, because we really, for the first hour, didn't even have a rod. It was just a stick with a rope attached to it.
Basically.
And that's not really fishing. At least get us to the basic level. I don't feel like they did that, and I feel like me stumbling on that was lucky, because if I hadn't have been like, maybe it's the rod. I bought a reel, I bought bait, I bought a leader, I bought all this stuff, but as far as I could tell, everything was still locked. And I needed skill points to unlock them, and I didn't know how to get it because I finally got to level 2 and still didn't get any skill points. So it was a random lucky chance that I bought a new rod and was able to set everything up, but that was super exciting for me. So, I mean, I just, like you guys said, for somebody that likes fishing and knows computer games well enough that they'd be able to navigate the way that I did, they could probably get some enjoyment out of this. For somebody that likes fishing but is bad at games or doesn't really understand them, not for them. For somebody that likes games and maybe wants to try something but doesn't know anything about fishing, probably not for them either. It's a niche crowd, that this is marketed towards. And I don't know. I just, I can't give it my personal recommendation. I'm at about a 4 out of 10.
But if you're Russian fisherman, though, like if you're Russian fisherman who may have dabbled with gaming, maybe a 7.
Yeah, maybe a 7. I'd give that 3/4 of a bottle of vodka. Yeah,
right.
I think so.
Nastrovia.
So yeah, I mean, we got mixed reviews on this. Overall, it was fun because I was playing with the guys, but there was definitely some moments to where I'm looking at my microphone cable like Panther over there, and I'm just I don't know, is it worth it? I don't know. So mixed reviews for Russian Fishing 4. I mean, if it sounds like, if you've listened to everything and you've seen the footage and you're still on the fence, go ahead and give it a shot. But I'm going to guess that most people are not going to really be interested in this game.
If somebody goes and they play this based on what they've heard us say, I want someone to comment on this video to say that they heard us or they seen it, or either weekly video if you want to comment on it. And say, I've tried this and this is what I think, or this is what or whatever. If you've played this, tell us what you fucking think of it. Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want to do, fucking do it.
Yeah,
I want to know.
I'd love to hear it, because this was a total unknown to us, but until we were browsing free-to-play games. And then it was, again, I thought it was a joke because, what the fuck is Russian fishing, and how is this the 4th one?
What's the difference between Russian fishing and Canadian fishing? There you go.
Right. Well, you apologize to the fish. That's what it
must be it. Yeah.
Shit. All right, so that does it for the game of the week segment, and man, we just really sucked on getting all the news out today. Just whoo, not a best effort, boys.
No, that's it was skimpy in the news.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for this podcast. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up and kill it with fire. So thank you guys so much for listening. Of course, all of our Twitter handles and all of the articles that we talked about, the few of them we did, is going to be linked in the description of the YouTube video as well. We're also on SoundCloud if that's an easier platform for you to listen. By now, I'm sure you know what your preferred source of Beyond the Controller is, but however you guys listen to us, we'd like to thank you. And any comments or questions you have, shoot them at us in any way that you want. Twitter, YouTube, whatever. And on behalf of us here at Beyond the Controller, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.